All right, welcome back. Something that I've been thinking about a little bit lately, or in the past like day or so, is how, or what my goal is, or one of the things that I really like about this channel and a sort of long-term goal that I have with it is that it will be a really good way to kind of showcase that you don't have to be that great at what you do, but if you just don't stop, you can create something that's great. Because I think I don't know. I have this. I think it's like maybe an overstated or over. Um, yeah, maybe an overstated belief in consistency. Because I think that if you just stay consistent and you just do whatever you can, but you just do it frequently and you just don't stop trying, no matter like how much you try of it, if you just expand the time frame long enough, you will make something that's good and something you will like reach your goal. I think it's almost like a um, law of the universe, almost like manifestation. Like I think one of the main things with manifestation that makes manifestation work, because I think manifestation works to some degree, but I think one of the main um, levers or one of the main pathways, I guess, in which manifestation works is that you're consistent. Like you're consistently thinking about something. And just because of the fact that you're consistent, the law of the universe is if you are consistent, you will achieve whatever the goal is. Because I think most people or most things, I haven't really. It's hard. I like as I'm saying this, something like, well, I haven't really had an experience where I've been consistent and where I haven't actually achieved whatever I wanted to achieve when I was consistent. However, there's also the like confirmation bias there almost, where obviously the things that I did quit, maybe they would have never amounted to anything. But I think the main part of most people's success, whatever it comes, or whatever success they have, or whatever area it is in, I think one of the main things is if you just stay consistent with it, it's almost like you can't help but achieve it. Um, and I think that this channel and these videos is a really good way to kind of showcase that, because I think if, let's say that I built this app in a dark room where I didn't share anything with anyone ever, and never told anyone about what I'm doing, and then after like 2 years or 1 year, I publish an app and it, let's say that it becomes super successful, it becomes the next like whatever. In that case, I might get attention for the thing that I built, and people will ask me, "Oh well, how was it? How did you build it?" And I can explain. I can tell the story of like, well, I spent a year trying to build this thing, and now I published it. But it's very hard to see like what does that mean? What does it mean when he says that he's built it? He spent a year trying to build this thing. What does that actually mean? And it's very easy for people to, I think when you hear stories like that, it's hard to understand what does it actually look like? What does it specifically look like on a day-to-day basis? What does it look like on a minute-to-minute basis? Like what was the struggles? How good was he? How bad was he? How good do I have to be able to do something like that? And I think if you or if I do publish whatever I do publish, then people can go back and look at like, well, this is what he was able to make, and this is how many days it took, because he's published all this like individual days of him working on it. And you can actually see like, this is what a day looked like, this is what the struggles were, this is how good he is or how bad he is at programming. And I think that can be very encouraging, because I don't know of anyone else that's done something like this for a project that's actually like been published and hopefully at some point will be successful. I don't know. I'm betting a little bit on the consistency thing there. Well, where I think if I just don't stop trying to improve this app and make it better and just iterate on it, then I don't think, I have sort of a hard time believing that it's not possible for this to become something that's successful by whatever metrics. And so again, like I've said before on this channel, the really cool thing to me is if I get to that point, to then have the entire journey literally documented day by day. Like, this is what every day looked like. This is how many days it took exactly. And this is what each day looked like. You can almost watch me live build this thing, which I think would just be such a like great resource. I hope that this app becomes really, really successful. And so if it does, then at that point, being able to see all this stuff, like imagine being able to see like Mark Zuckerberg's Stanford days when he was building Facebook. Like imagine seeing not only like a documentary about like, this is about what it was like, but like seeing the literal hours and minutes that he spent working and what lines of code he wrote, how many times he rewrote things, and how many times he messed up or did things. Because I think the older you get, I think the more you understand that like the people that do these crazy things, like amazing things, on the micro level, they're not that different from us, or from me, or from anyone. Because in the micro, I think you can tell that like they didn't know everything. I mean, I'm gonna guess that Mark Zuckerberg is way better at programming than I am, or was better at programming than I am, and maybe is way smarter than I am, or whatever. But I think there wouldn't be a huge difference in the micro level if we were looking at like his day to day of trying to build Facebook and looking at my day to day of trying to build this. I think the differences there would be kind of negligible, and the difference between us might be like he might have been, he was obviously faster, like he would have been faster, I think, but it would still be interesting just to see the literal difference. And I think it would be encouraging too, because I think you would see that you're not that different from him, and that could encourage other people to then start their own projects. Because I think a lot of people just don't start their own things because they think, well, I could never do something like that. My app wouldn't be successful. My app wouldn't be this, or I could never code. I could never learn how to do that. It's too difficult. And so watching me hopefully shows that anyone could do this, because this is not very difficult, what I'm doing, I don't think. But with that long monologue, let's continue, because I'm very excited about where we're at, and we're very close to being able to match together users and have the base functionality of the app, which is exciting. So hopefully today we can solve the error that I failed at 2 days ago, which is just connecting the users. For some reason they didn't want to connect, and I don't really know why. All right, I have to run now, but we're still not really getting there. There's so many different issues, and I'm trying to figure it out at the same time. Other errors occur, but one issue that seems to happen is that when ChatGPT or when Grok tries to write Lambda functions that update the user, uh, sometimes they don't include some of the necessary variables, like updated at. So there's variables for each entry in a table on Amazon, I think, called like created at and updated at, and those two variables are dates, and they need to be set properly. But the way that we were setting it before didn't set the updated at properly, so there was an error when we were trying to update the record, which might have caused issues when retrieving or like doing the things with the actual function. So now that we've changed that, hopefully it will help us with the next steps. But I'm not really sure, to be honest. And today is one of those days where I've been consistent, but I haven't really gotten anywhere. And so I have to remember that I've still put in time. This is time that I have to put in. And even though it doesn't feel very like I can't actually see the progress isn't visible, I have still made progress because I've spent time today. So I have to kind of remind myself of that and be happy about that still. But I'm a little bit sad that we're not actually seeing a real result. I feel like it's so close, and all I want is just to have the satisfaction of seeing like, okay, I have two devices, they join the app, and all of a sudden they get put into a call together. That's all that I want to see. And I know too that once I've achieved that, that's not even the biggest thing. That's just like one step, because the next thing that's going to happen is that there's probably going to be problems with multiple users connecting to the app at the same time and getting them all sorted in the right way. But the first step is just for two users to be able to connect, which is taking a while. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.